A lad was showing off his new sports car to his girlfriend. She was thrilled at the speed. "If I do 180 miles per hour, will you take off your clothes?" he asked. "Yes," said his adventurous girlfriend, and as he got up to 180, she peeled off all her clothes. Unable to keep his eyes on the road, the car skidded onto some gravel and flipped over. The naked girl was thrown clear, but he was jammed beneath the steering wheel. "Go and get help," he cried. "But I can't. I'm naked and my clothes are gone." "Take my shoe," he said, "and cover yourself." Holding the shoe over her pubes, the girl ran down the road and found a service station. Still holding the shoe between her legs, she pleaded to the service station proprietor, "Please help me, my boyfriend's stuck." The proprietor looked at the shoe and said, "There's nothing I can do. He's in too far." I bought a beautiful parrot from a pet shop. When I got it home, I put it on a perch and it started swearing foul language. I ignored it until one day when my mom was here for dinner. It swore so badly I said, "Enough." I grabbed the parrot and put it in the deep freeze for 5 minutes. When I finally got it out of the fridge, it quietly said, "I do apologize for my bad language. It was uncalled for and it will never happen again. May I ask, what did the chicken do?"
A man is selling berries from a stand on the street. One day, a woman walks up to the stand and asks the vendor, "Do you have tomatoes?" "I'm sorry, miss, but I only carry berries. I have these delicious blueberries picked fresh from the bush just this morning. Would you like to try some?" the vendor asked. "Oh, no thanks," the woman replies, and she walks away. The next day, the vendor is out selling berries once again, and the same lady comes up to his stand. "Do you have tomatoes?" she asks again. The vendor, somewhat perplexed, explains, "I'm sorry, miss, but as I said yesterday, I only sell berries. I don't have tomatoes, but I have these mouth-watering strawberries picked fresh just this morning. They're so sweet you'd think they were candy. You must try some." "Oh, no thanks." The woman says it again and walks away, leaving the vendor upset. The next day, the lady comes back, and just as the vendor predicted, she asks again. And this continues for the next couple days, and each day, the vendor becomes more and more frustrated with the woman. The next time the lady shows up, she asks yet again, "Do you have tomatoes?" The vendor replies, "Look, lady, what word do you get when you take the word berry out of strawberry?" The woman thinks for a moment. "Straw. Right. And what word do you get when you take the word berry out of blueberry?" Again she thinks and says, "Blue." Finally, the vendor asks, "What word do you get when you take the word out of tomatoes?" The woman looks confused and says, "There is no in tomatoes." The vendor says, "That's what I've been trying to tell you." A woman went shopping. At the cash counter, she opened her purse to pay. The cashier noticed a TV remote in her purse. He could not control his curiosity and asked, "Do you always carry your TV remote with you?" She replied, "No, not always, but my husband refused to accompany me shopping today because of a football match, so I took the remote." Moral: accompany and support your wife in her hobbies. The story continues. The cashier laughed and then returned all the items that lady had purchased. Shocked at this act, she asked the cashier what he was doing. He said, "Your husband has blocked your credit card." Moral: always respect the hobbies of your husband. Story continues. Wife took out her husband's credit card from her purse and swiped it. Unfortunately, he didn't block his own card. Moral: don't underestimate the power and wisdom of your wife. Story continues. After swiping, the machine indicated, "Enter the PIN sent to your mobile phone." Moral: when a man tends to lose, the machine is smart enough to save him. Story continues. She smiled to herself and reached out for the mobile, which rang in her purse. It was her husband's phone showing the forwarded SMS. She had taken it with the remote control so he wouldn't call her during her shopping. She bought her items and returned home happily. Moral: don't underestimate a desperate woman. Story continues. On getting home, his car was gone. A note was pasted on the door. Couldn't find the remote, gone out with the boys to watch the Premiership match. Will be home late. Call me on my phone if you need something. Damn, he left with the house key too. Moral: don't try to control your husband. You will always lose.
A girl was walking home from school when a man on a black motorcycle pulled up beside her. He smiled and said, "Hey kiddo, want to go for a ride?" She shook her head. "No thanks." He rode a little farther, came back again, and said, "How about $10 if you hop on?" Still walking, she replied, "No way." The man tried one last time. "Okay, final offer, $20 and a big bag of candy if you ride with me." The girl stopped, turned, and yelled, "Dad, you're the one who bought the wrong bike. You ride it yourself." Called a married lady who owed me money, but she didn't pick up. I called again and again, in total 10 times, still no answer. Knowing very well that her husband wasn't at home, I decided to apply wisdom. So I sent her this message. "Hello, sissy. I'm not calling for the money. I just wanted to tell you that 2 girls were fighting over your husband in town today. It was a big fight, and he was just there watching. One of the girls finally ran into his car, and they drove off together. 5 minutes later, no reply. Then suddenly, my phone started vibrating like a generator. She called once, twice, 10 times. I ignored all. When I finally checked, I saw 21 missed calls and 1 long message that said, 'Where was the fight? Where did they go? Did you notice those girls? Please tell me. I am falling apart.' I just read it and kept quiet. Then she called again. 5 more missed calls. Still, I didn't pick. Next thing I knew, another message popped up. 'I have your money. Please, can we meet so you can tell me more?' At that point, I smiled and replied calmly, 'Okay, you can send it through mobile money, so that when I pass by the gas station to refuel, I'll pick you up and drive you to one of the girls' houses, because I know them.' 2 minutes later, I checked my account balance. My money had been fully paid. I switched off my phone, rolled on my bed, and slept like a satisfied baby." Dan, why are you sad? Bob, I was watching porn, and all of a sudden, my wife opened the door. Okay, she caught you, but is that really such a big deal? I mean, she opened the door in the movie. An old lady sits on her front porch, rocking away the last days of her long life, when all of a sudden, a fairy godmother appears and informs her that she will be granted 3 wishes. "Well now," says the old lady, "I guess I would like to be really rich." Poof! Her rocking chair turns to solid gold. "And gee, I guess I wouldn't mind being a young, beautiful princess." Poof! She turns into a beautiful young woman. "Your 3rd wish?" asks the fairy godmother. Just then, the old woman's cat wanders across the porch in front of them. "Ooh, can you change him into a handsome prince?" she asks. Poof! There before her stands a young man more handsome than anyone could possibly imagine. She stares at him, smitten. With a smile that makes her knees weak, he saunters across the porch and whispers in her ear, "Bet you're sorry you had me neutered." A woman visits her husband in the prison. Before leaving, she tells a correction officer, "You shouldn't make my husband work like that. He's exhausted." The officer laughs and says, "Are you kidding? He just eats and sleeps and stays in his cell." The wife replies, "Bullshit. He just told me he's been digging a tunnel for months." A man finds a wallet with $800 in it.
A few days later, he reads a notice stating that a wealthy man has lost his wallet and is offering a $50 reward to anyone who returns it. He soon locates the owner and gives him the wallet. The rich man counts the money and says, "I see you have already taken your reward." The poor man responds, "What are you talking about?" The wealthy man continues, "This wallet had $850 in it when I lost it." The two men begin arguing, and eventually they go to court to sort out their differences. Both men present their case, the poor man first, then the wealthy man, who concludes by saying, "Your Honor, I trust you believe me." The judge says, "Of course." The rich man smiles, and the poor man is devastated. Then the judge takes the wallet out of the wealthy man's hands and gives it to the poor man who found it. "What are you doing?" the rich man yells angrily. The judge responds, "You are, of course, an honest man, and if you say that your missing wallet had $750 in it, I'm sure it did. But if the man who found this wallet is a liar and a thief, he wouldn't have returned it at all, which means that this wallet must belong to somebody else. If that man steps forward, he'll get the money. Otherwise, it stays with the man who found it." "What about my money?" the rich man asks. "Well, we'll just have to wait until somebody finds your wallet with the $850 in it."
Sarah was cleaning up the living room when her husband's phone lit up with a message from Lady of My Dreams. Her eyebrow twitched. Curious and mildly dramatic, she peeked at his contact list. 3 names stood out like neon signs: the tender one, the amazing one, and Lady of My Dreams. Her blood pressure went up. She started dialing. The first number? His mom. "Hi, sweetie. Are you coming over for pot roast?" Helen blinked. "Okay, fine." The second? His sister. "Hey, sis. Need your Netflix password again?" All right, maybe she overreacted. Nervously, she dialed the third contact. Somewhere in the house, her own phone started ringing. Her stomach dropped. She ran to the bedroom and found it buzzing on the nightstand. Guilt hit her like a freight train. She cried, apologized, even gave him her entire month's bonus to say sorry. He hugged her, kissed her forehead, and whispered, "You're my everything." That night, while he was in the shower, she passed by his phone again. This time, a new message popped up. "Uncle Mike the mechanic. Can't wait to see you again." Dolly Parton and Queen Elizabeth went to the pearly gates on the same day. They both met with an angel to find out if they would be admitted to heaven. The angel said, "Unfortunately, there's only one space in heaven today, so I must decide which one of you will be admitted." The angel asked Dolly if there was some particular reason why she should go to heaven. Dolly took off her top and said, "Look at these. They're the most perfect God ever created, and I'm sure it will please God to be able to see them every day for eternity." The angel thanked Dolly and asked Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth, the same question. The Queen walked over to a toilet, pulled the lever, and flushed it without saying a word. The angel immediately said, "Okay, Your Majesty, you may go into heaven." Dolly was outraged and asked, "What was that all about? I showed you 2 of God's own perfect creations, and you turned me down. She simply flushed a commode, and she got admitted to heaven. Would you explain that to me?" "Sorry, Dolly," said the angel, "but even in heaven, a flush royal beats a pear, no matter how big they are." The night before one exam, 2 students tied one on,
Well, actually tied 2 on, 1 each, and managed to sleep through the final. They realized they were in serious trouble, so they agreed to tell the professor that they had a flat tire on the way to the exam. "No problem," said the professor. "Come by my office at 5 p.m. and I'll give you the exam then." Feeling pretty clever, the students spent the intervening time getting information on the exam from students who had already taken it and making sure they knew how to do the problems. Coming to the professor's office that evening, they were told, "Leave your books in my office and I'll put you in 2 separate rooms for the exam." They were both ecstatic to see that the professor had given them the exact same exam taken by the class that morning. However, there was an additional page tacked on the end, upon which was written, "For 50% of the grade, which tire was flat?"
Several men were in the locker room of the gym when a cell phone on a bench rang, and a man put it on speaker and began to talk. Everyone in the room stopped to listen. "Hello?" "Hi, honey, it's me. Are you at the club?" "Yes." "I'm at the shops now and found this beautiful leather coat. It's only $2,000. Is it okay if I buy it?" "Sure, go ahead if you like it that much." "I also stopped by the Lexus dealership and saw the new models. I saw one that I really liked." "How much?" $90,000. "Okay, but for that price, I want it with all options." "Great! Oh, and one more thing. I was just talking to Jane and found out that the house I wanted last year is back on the market. They're asking $980,000 for it." "Well, then go ahead and offer $900,000. They'll probably take it. If not, we can go to the extra $80,000 if that's what you really want." "Okay, see you later. I love you too much." "Bye. I love you too." The man hung up. The other men in the locker room were staring at him in astonishment, mouths wide open. He turned and asked, "Anyone knows whose phone this is?"
Tom had this problem of getting up late in the morning and was always late for work. His boss was mad at him and threatened to fire him if he didn't do something about it. So Tom went to his doctor, who gave him a pill and told him to take it before he went to bed. Tom slept well and, in fact, beat the alarm in the morning. He had a leisurely breakfast and drove cheerfully to work. "Boss," he said, "the pill actually worked." "That's all fine," said the boss, "but where were you yesterday?"
A pastor's wife was expecting a baby, so he stood before the congregation and asked for a raise. After much discussion, they passed a rule that whenever the pastor's family expanded, so would his paycheck. After 6 children, this started to get expensive, and the congregation decided to hold another meeting to discuss the pastor's expanding salary. A great deal of yelling and inner bickering ensued as to how much the pastor's additional children were costing the church and how much more it could potentially cost. After listening to them for about an hour, the pastor rose from his chair and spoke. "Children are a gift from God, and we will take as many gifts as He gives us." Silence fell over the congregation. In the back pew, a little old lady struggled to stand and finally said in her frail voice, "Rain is also a gift from God, but when we get too much of it, we wear rubbers." The entire congregation shouted, "Amen!"
One of the boys sees a fence a little ways away with a few massive bowls in it. They all dare one of the kids to tip the bowl. He sneaks up next to the bowl and tries to push the bowl over. The bull rocks back and forth a little bit, but nothing. He runs back to his friends, and they are all laughing at him. The biggest kid decides he will have better luck. He sneaks up to another bull, takes a lineman stance, and slams into this bull as hard as he can. The bull teeters almost completely sideways, and then back, away, and back, but doesn't tip over. He runs off back to his friends. Everyone is laughing, but they can't figure out why the bull didn't fall. The bull was almost completely sideways. There is no way the bull should not have fallen. All of a sudden, a bull just on the inside of the fence speaks up. "You'll never tip us." A kid asks back, "And why is that?" "We bulls wobble, but we don't fall down." An elderly man was driving his Lamborghini at 100 miles per hour when he suddenly saw police chasing him. So he begins to accelerate, 140, then 150, then 180. All of a sudden, he slows down and thinks, "I'm too old for this." He stops and waits for the police to catch him. The officer gets out of the car, and when approaching the old man, he says, "Sir, my shift ends in 10 minutes. Today is Friday, and I'm leaving for this weekend vacation with my family. If you give me a very good reason for driving so fast, but seriously, very good, something I've never heard before, I'll let it go." The old man looks at him, thinks a lot, and says, "Years ago, my wife eloped with a police officer, and when I saw you chasing me, I thought you were going to bring her back." "Have a nice day, sure," said the cop as he walked away.
My wife's gone missing. She went shopping yesterday and never came home.
Age?
I'm not sure. Around 40? We don't really celebrate birthdays.
Height?
Maybe a little over 5 feet?
Weight?
No idea. Not skinny, not heavy. Somewhere in between.
Eye color?
I think brown.
Hair color?
Changes a couple of times a year. Probably dark brown right now. I don't really remember.
What was she wearing?
Could have been pants, maybe a skirt,
Or shorts?
I'm not sure.
What vehicle was she driving?
She took my motorcycle.
What kind of motorcycle?
A 2018 Harley-Davidson Road Glide, twisted cherry finish, 14-inch ape hangers, Stage 2 upgrade, Vance & Hines fishtail pipes, Clockworks windshield, JP Cycles floorboards, highway pegs, crash bars. Relax, sir. Don't worry. We'll find your motorcycle.